seen that for one folio, the amount of time it can take just to remove minting. So what we focus nowadays is on preventive conservation. That preventive conservation and conservation, the main difference is that in preventive you can focus on a collection because it's a larger space. You need to control. What I talked about in the beginning is that you work around the object. You don't touch the object. This is touching the object basically. You are interfering with the original structure of the object. But when in preventive conservation, that you apply for a collection, you look after the temperature, you look after lights, you look after the environment if there are no pests. So when you look after a collection at one time, you are not just saving one object but a whole collection. Your collection can be 1,000 objects, it can be 10,000, but this gives you extra edge because your objects are still in good shape. And if you are able to maintain the present conditions, you don't need something like this to happen to your books because this is somewhat harming in one sense. We are trying to save it, but every time we apply a treatment, a part of it is eroded away. Just like maybe cleansing your silver jewelry. So a part of it actually is taken away when you cleanse it. So after a point of time, it will become brittle, and once it's gone, it's gone. So these are some of the preventive measures that we do. That for catalog cards, we have special encapsulated archival boxes. And you can see that these are for a large number of collection. It's not just for one book, but for a whole folio, a whole medal, everything. And then work about storage solutions. That if you can go for very simple vernacular furniture, if not this. So depending upon your budget, you have options. It's not that since you don't have so much of money, you cannot buy a compactor. If not compactor, you go for a shelf. If not shelf, go for a rack. If not rack, go for a makeshift furniture. If not that, you just go for a wooden showcase. But the idea is it should be safe from other harms as well. So it should not be on the floor. That can be a very basic thing, but if you follow this basic thing, it can save you from many such disasters. Just a few challenges. Limited resources and funding. I hope we are all clear about that. Increasing volume of materials is another thing. Each day new collections is required by museums and libraries and archives. So you cannot say no to it because what is not relevant now, 20 years down the line can be relevant information for the future generation. And the third is, I was not focusing so much on the remedial part just because there are certain scenarios in which remedial conservation becomes very much of a disaster in case you're not aware of how to it should be done. So this is a picture of the original painting. This was submitted for restoration. And then someone have asked we should try to make it right again, and then and this is the actual work of art. It's not done by a child or anything, but this is an actual work of art. So you understand that how things can happen or go wrong in case you're not given it to a professional who, and also a professional who knows what needs to be done.
It's like before and after.
Yes, yes. So this is one of the sculptures, and
Oh, that would be like never before, never after. That should be the
but
title.
this is well documented. This is the case. So this is why my main presentation was focusing on that you should know the damages first. Instead of going for cure and what's the remedy, you should understand how damages occur at first. This is also damage. That if we don't know how to treat an object, if we don't know how to correctly apply a treatment, it's very much a problem of us, the professionals, that we are damaging far more than what the public does. So just some concluding point. Public awareness is one such important thing. Volunteering and funding, because we need, if we are going for a workshop or maybe a 2-day exercise or maybe a public outreach program, we certainly need volunteers who will help us. And community outreach is a very good example of how we can inculcate this. Because in most of the remote areas, the community is who holds most number of collections and artifacts. So I guess UNESCO and ICROM right now are currently, more of UNESCO are currently focusing on community outreach programs, especially in case of disaster risk management and also for collection preservation. and supporting research and policy changes. And just to conclude, I have a small video. I guess some of you have seen it, but it's really important to know what not to do with our collection. So I guess. So this is exactly what we go for when you do in a museum, but certainly not to be done. And you can see the cannonball effect of changes, that what happens one thing from the one to the next.
I was very upset with him the first time I saw it. Oh, it comes.
I mean, this could have been stopped in here, but
That's why he used to be.
Fear not, gentlemen. With the system we put in here, nothing will touch that painting short of an earthquake that brings down the whole gallery.